All right. Another video for today. I'm going to be uploading just a lot of stuff today. Um, oh, I noticed something interesting with the videos that I upload. It seems like when I'm looking at the video. So I'm recording the video right now, of course, and I'm looking at the video as I'm recording it, and it looks like the aspect ratio. Like I can see kind of what the aspect ratio is, but the aspect ratio seems to change. Like when I watch the video, it's kind of weird. Like I guess when I record the video, it's not giving me like a totally accurate view of like what the aspect ratio is going to be like. It's it's not really that important. It's just something that I noticed. So anyway, yeah. Today, yeah. I just really feel like making videos. I feel like making videos just because I have been there's been like a lot of emotional intensity lately that has been difficult to deal with. So yeah, I'm just gonna be. I don't know. I might. I don't know how long I'm gonna do this. I might just be doing this for like a few days or weeks or something like that. But yeah, I guess I'm just really realizing how difficult my living situation is. Living with a guy who threatens me, who calls me awful things. So let's get into the threats. The threats are basically related to he knows. Let's see here. So he's threatened to take the water heater, the oven, and the dryer. He's threatened to take those three things: water heater, oven, and dryer. He thinks he's like justified to take them somehow, which I certainly don't believe he is. So he's threatened to take those things. He said, I don't understand this. He said this last night. So he said that there was a problem with the water, and I don't know what he means by that. And I asked him what he meant, and this is what he said. He said, "Oh, you'll find out." And I was like, "What does that mean?" He like, I'm pretty sure it's just a threat that he knows he can kind of like jab at me with those things. And so yeah, last night he said like, "Oh, and there's the problem with the water too." And I said, "What problem is that?" And he said, "Oh, you'll find out." Like, what an asshole. There's a problem with the water, but he's like, "Oh, you'll find out." Oh. my goodness. And of course there's there's the situation that I witnessed when I was downstairs and I was listening to him walk back and forth in this very area, and he acted out a scene in which he either killed me or injured me. That was kind of freaky for me to like witness that. And then I actually did come upstairs and like talk to him, and yeah, that was just it was not a fun situation. You know, he's called the police on me. He's also threatened to call the police. That's another thing that he does. Another threat that he does is he'll like last night he told me like, "Oh, Neil, I called the police on you again." I'm like, "Why did you call the police on me?" And he said, "I'm not going to tell you." And I said, like, "Why did you call the police on me?" And he says, "I'm not going to tell you." But then later he admits that he called the police just to find out what the legal rules are for eviction. I'm like, "Okay, Mike, you didn't even call the police on me. You called the police just to find out like the eviction rules." And so he does stuff like that. He'll like, I'm sure he just does stuff like that because he knows that it gets to me. He knows. I mean, of course, it's like if somebody told you like, "Hey, I've called the police on you," would you not be like, kind of upset or like, what's going on? Especially if you don't think that you've done anything, which I didn't. I don't think I have done anything. And he like once again he called the police just to find out like some information, and it wasn't related to me. But he used the fact that he called the police to essentially threaten me, like to say like oh. Like, to imply that I've done something really wrong and that he had to call the police for it, but it was not. That was not the situation. So he does stuff like that. I mean, he'll get up in my face. When the police officer did come over, This was a few months ago, and my roommate got up in my face, and he said that I was a money grabbing freeloader. But honestly, I think he's the one who's the freeloader. And yeah, we're never anything like he's paid like $250 in rent for like years and years. Now he's not paying anything, and yeah, I just want him out. There's just this, and last night, so he told me that he's the one that believes in truth, and I do not believe in truth. So I don't know. There's just this weird dynamic between us. Like he feels like he's the one who's justified in the situation. He feels that honestly, I feel like the situation with him is abusive simply because, well, I am on the autism spectrum. So there's one thing in that I react, my sensitivity, my like responsiveness is far greater than like the average person's responsiveness. So things that would not bother other people like absolutely bother me. And Mike has indicated that when I get into like a heavy emotional state, like an intense emotional state, that he views that as me being violent, and that he would either like call the police when I'm in that state, or he would possibly have to defend himself. And I think that's, I don't think that's going to happen, but still there is, it's not out of the realm of possibility that he could mistakenly think that the way that that when I get into like a panic attack, he could believe that I'm violent, and he could defend himself and injure me or kill me. So, and these are things, I mean, it sounds weird talking about this, but that's the actual situation. I've actually talked about him, and I asked him if he had a plan to kill me. And his response to that was, I would do what's necessary in the situation if I needed to defend myself. So I asked him, like, do you plan to kill me? And he doesn't say no. He says that he would do, I'll have to, I actually have the exact wording somewhere. I don't remember what it is. But he essentially said that, if it comes down to it, he would defend himself against me. But I'm not the person. I'm not the kind of person to go after somebody or to attack somebody. So if he defends himself against me, it's not because I'm threatening. It's because he has misjudged the situation. And yeah, so I want to get this guy out of here. He's just emotionally like too much for me, like far too much for me to deal with. And I'm even like walking around the house right now. I don't know what time he's going to be home. He'll be home at some point. And what time is it now? It's like, it's already about 6:30. Yeah, he could be home at any point. Oh, I don't like that. I just feel so restrained when I'm around him. I feel like I can't move when I'm around him. I feel like I'll often be like over here, just like sitting on the couch like this, and like when he's in the room, I just like stay here on the couch, just like kind of freeze. And yeah, so currently I'm looking for illegal ways to get my roommate to move out. I want him to move out as soon as possible. It's really a detriment to my emotional health, and the situation is actually fairly like, I need to get moving on my art pretty soon. I really do, because that's going to be my form of income. Oh, and also Mike insulted my art last night. He just thinks I'm lazy. He thinks that my autistic difficulties are an indication of laziness. And so, I mean, throughout the last few months, he's just been like I tell him the things that I'm going to do, and he's like, well, Neil, how are you going to do that? You're just like implying that I'm like too lazy or too like unmotivated to do the things that need to be done. The fact is, I have extreme difficulties with my autism, and that affects my approach to getting anything done. I actually do have reasonable solutions to that, but it's extremely hard to implement those solutions when I live in this environment that is just too emotionally intense for me. So that's that's the other thing that's very troubling about this situation, is that I have negative emotional reactions to my roommate, and then he seems to. I mean, that's bad enough, but then I seem to get blamed and like ridiculed for my negative emotional reactions, which are not something that I can control. They're something that happens like automatically, and I can like take steps to mitigate when things like that happen. But it's just, it's difficult when I live in an environment that is not conducive to my emotional health. And yeah, he's just said stuff. He's like, one time I was talking to him and I was like telling him that I wanted him to move out. And he's like, well, Neil, maybe you should move out. Like, really? This is my inheritance here. This is my property. I'm not going to move out of my property. Like, I don't know. And then he'll do stuff. I think he played it this way just to bother me. So when the real estate agent came over, he wakes me up that morning and he says, Neil, your sister's decided to sell the property. The real estate agent will be here in half an hour. And so I panicked a little bit, just waking up out of the blue, him saying, hey, sister's decided to sell the property. Real estate agent's going to be here in half an hour. And, I'm kind of freaking out. And, of course, the conversation with the real estate agent didn't go that well. I kicked him out. I was just, it was not a good situation. It was not a good situation. Yeah, and then the guy he came with, like implied that, or he asked me if I was able to read, which was odd. And then he, what else did he? Oh yeah, he said that, like what your, I think, I don't remember the verbiage exactly on this, but he said, what your autistic brain makes you believe is not reality or something like that. I'm like, come on, man. Just, I don't, yeah, implying that I'm defective because of the way that my autistic brain works, which, I mean, okay, I do have deficits. But when people try to insert their own meaning into my deficits, it's usually wrong. And yeah, he was wrong in the case. He was wrong to say that that my version of reality is wrong because I have autism. That's just bullshit. It really is. Like, like you have autism, so what you think about reality is wrong. That's not the case. That's honestly not the case. But yeah. So yeah, my roommate. I mean, other things that he's done. He's wanted to commit me to a mental institution. Both him and my sister wanted to commit me to a mental institution, and yeah, difficult to deal with situations like that, and that's why I want him out. I don't want to be in this environment where I am just not able to function as I should. And yeah, like setting boundaries with him, it just like I ask him to move out, he refuses. I first tried to increase the rent from, like, he was paying $300 at the time. He's been paying like $250 for most of the time that he's here, but he was paying $300 at the time. And so I thought, like, for what he's getting, that it was fair to increase the rent. He absolutely refused that. And so I then told him that he needed to move out if he was not going to pay the rent. And he refused that too. And so he essentially went to my sister and got her to approve him staying here with me. So I have this guy living with me who I absolutely do not like, I do not get along with. I have very negative emotions towards him. And so I just wanted to get this guy out of here. And then my sister comes along and allows him to stay despite, oh, what is that? Oh, there's a buzzing on my phone. I don't think it's anything. Let's see here. Oh, it's probably nothing. Yeah, it's probably nothing. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, my sister has allowed him to stay here, far beyond the point that I would allow him to stay here. Like honestly, I told him in February. So on like the middle of February, I told him he had to be out by April 15th. That time came and went. He's still here. He told me, at first he told me, yeah, that's good. I'll be able to get out in 2 months. And nope, that time came and went. Then another time I was talking to him, he said he would be able to be out by June 1st, which I believe is tomorrow. He's obviously not going to be out by then. And so he gets a letter from my sister, which allows him to stay till July. Now he's trying to get another letter from my sister, which allows him to stay till October. So it's just, I don't believe that situation is legal. I don't believe that my sister can use her power as executor to extend beyond the point of when the estate is closed. I really do not believe that that's legal. But somehow both him and my sister believe that somehow her power as executor extends beyond when the estate is settled. And, I'm not a lawyer, of course, but I have looked into it, and I don't believe that that's the case. I don't believe that my sister's power as executor extends at all beyond when the estate is settled, because that's the purpose of the executor, is to settle the estate. So essentially, like when the estate is settled, the executor no longer has a legal purpose in the situation, and at that point, I believe that the power of executor of the estate no longer is valid. No legal power as executor of the estate beyond the settling of the estate. And if you if anybody knows more about the law than me, then but please tell me. Please tell me in the comments like what the situation is, because I don't, like, I've looked into things, but as I said, I'm not a lawyer. So trying to get my roommate out. Honestly, I think it's going to be soon, because I've read about eviction online, and my roommate does not have any sort of lease agreement. There's no written agreement for him to be staying here, and there's no written agreement for him to be staying here. He has like his stuff just all over the place. He's rather like threatening to me, emotionally abusive to me, and so I want him out. And I don't. It's just such a weird situation. Like supposed to be my property, but yet there's this guy living here who's kind of taken over the property, and I truly believe that legally he will be out in about a month. He thinks he's going to stay here till like October or something, but from what I've looked into legally, I think there's very possible that he could be out of here in a month or sooner. I've told him that. I've told him that when I get legal control of the property, then he is out. Then, I mean, I'm certainly going to play by the law, but when I have the legal authority to kick him out, I will kick him out the very day that I get that legal authority. So I don't know if he realizes this. I have told him exactly that to his face. I've told him that when I get the legal right to do so, that he will be out. And I've told him that several times. I don't think he believes me. And it's a weird situation, because he says he's miserable here. He says that I'm making him miserable. I believe that he is making me miserable. To kind of take, like, step back a little bit and take a broader perspective, perspective on the situation is we are just very different people. I am coarse. Okay, in this video, I am painting my roommate in a bad light because I truly believe that the way that he relates to me is damaging. But you know, you have different groups of people, so I think my roommate is a pretty decent person when he relates to those people that kind of believe the same things that he does. And really, I think that's true for anybody. Like, if you come across somebody who has vastly different beliefs than you, vastly different values, I think there's just going to be conflict in that situation. I really do. And so, yeah. I just think it's best for both of us if he leaves. I really do. Because I'm certainly not in a good emotional position, like, relating to him. And from what he says, like, he says he's miserable. Like, and he also, this is weird. So when I was talking to him last night, it sounded like he actually maybe does have some options, but he's just not willing to do those options. Like he wants to stay here maybe till October because there's something like there's a place that's being remodeled that he wants to move into or something like that, and the remodel won't be due till October. But I think, like, man, and he said, well, I don't want to move twice, so I'm just going to stay here. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. He's not... I'm not going to allow that to happen. I'm just not. Like, if he has to move twice, the thing is, like, I'm getting fairly desperate for money. I know I need to get going on my art, but having him in the house has just been disastrous for my emotional well-being. And so yeah, like I need to get him out. I need to start working on my art. And also there's the other thing of, you know, I actually, the property is fairly big. There's 17 acres. So there is, I mean, the house, there's quite a bit of room in the house. So I have the potential of moving in a different roommate who would be better for me. But when my current roommate is still here, that's not an option. It's just not an option. There's no space when my current roommate is here. So, so yeah, that's another thing. Like, the longer he stays, it's a disadvantage to me for two reasons. Because, like, if I did want to get another roommate in who could pay a fairer value, that's not possible until he moves out. So it's like, I don't know if I would go with that situation, but I do like to have the option of going with that. So what am I supposed to wait till October? Like, if I did consider that option, it's like wait till October, and like I don't have any income right now. So yeah, Mike staying here is a detriment to my emotional health. It's a detriment to my ability to bring in income. I just don't think it's just not a good idea for him to be here. It's not. So I'm just, yeah, I think I'm just going to be posting videos like this just as much as I want. I don't know. I've probably posted, let's see here, like an hour and a half. I think I'll post, like, I'll probably have posted like 2 hours of videos today, or maybe an hour to 2 hours of videos today. So I don't know. There's just something I like about making videos. Okay. So I'm not honestly looking for many people to watch my videos. There's just something about being able to talk into the camera that's very relaxing for me. And the thought of this being online, the thought of people looking at it and responding to it is I have these thoughts of, when I record a video like this, I have these thoughts of people supporting me, I guess, when if I were to post this. Or I will, of course I will, like, post this online. So that's one of the things I like about making videos, is it just feels really good to make these videos. And yeah. Oh man. Yeah. All right, I don't know if I have much more to say on this video. So I'll make another one soon. I'll make another one. So let's shut this guy off, and then we will. Then I'll make another video really soon. All right, I'm going.